everybody. It's Barry with Christenson Transportation. We're the trucker's truck, and safety takes priority. And today's point of today's video is the road check that's coming up. And you know, we have road checks every so often, and they go over typically the same stuff: vehicles, drivers, information. It's not a surprise, and it's not a surprise that we always do really well, because every day is road check for Christenson. Every day we expect people to do things in order to keep everybody safe, to keep us legal, to keep us running efficiently. So, but we do like to reiterate the importance of certain things, and especially when they've come in and said, here's what we're going to be focusing on. So, number one, all this happens when you get an inspection or you're stopped for inspection. So, first thing is, don't do something that's going to get you trigger an inspection. You know, drive properly, as always. Stay in the lane. Don't be changing around. Keep your equipment looking good. You know, first thing is to avoid anything. Second is to be prepared if you get stopped, and I would always prepare to be stopped. You know, weigh your loads. That's typically, if it's not left lane or speeding that gets people pulled in, it's overweight. You know, they've got all this stuff that can measure your weight when you're moving. They can measure axle to wheel temperatures to know if you've got a flat tire or a wheel bearing going out. So it all evolves around a proper pre-trip. Check your mud flaps, check your tires, check your lights. You know, we've done a great job of speccing these trucks with all the amenities you can get, and one of them is pushing that button and it cycles every light in consecutive order around the truck and trailer, so you don't have to have somebody in there putting the turn signal on, hitting the brakes. It does it for you. Just do it. Use the button. Wear your seatbelt. You know, that's not only is it a law, but it's a pretty good safety feature. So wear your seat belts. You know, they're going to be focusing on hours of service. You know, Christenson never, and I would imagine hopefully most people don't have hours of service violations, because the electronic log is telling you and showing you well in advance of when you can stop driving. So it's the other things that go into that CSA category. Did I certify my logs? Did I put my trailer number, my bill of lading, my commodity type? If there's a blank on that thing, fill it in. That's what it's there for. We all did it when we had paper logs. There's no reason to not do it when we have digital logs. So fill those things out. Certify your stuff, you know, daily. The other thing is check all your stuff. You know, Christenson, we monitor your CDL, your medical explorations. We notify you. We make sure those are current. But you know, there's things that we can't monitor. Did somebody take out the registration out of a trailer? Does it have the annual DOT in there? So check those things out, and you know, physically look in the front of the trailers for that information. But also familiarize yourself with the stuff that you have access to on the tablet. In the tablet, we have applications that allow you to download insurance forms, download registrations for all truck and trailers, and things like that. Do that. You know, I've got drivers that every time they hook a new trailer, they go out to that app and they select that trailer, and it pulls in that information. It's not already in there. It's out there. It's not in there. So you have to pull it in. Every time you get a new piece of equipment, you go out and select that truck or trailer, and it uploads those files for you. So know how to do that. At the site of the inspection, with somebody staring at you with a ticket book in their hand, is not the time to figure out how to get in there and use this stuff. So go out there and use it. Know how to send your logs. There's places there's instructions on the ELD and what to do if it goes down, and how to send your logs. All that's in your permit book. It's also in plain sight on the tablet. The instructions and instructional videos. So do that a couple times. Learn how to do that. We teach all that in orientation, especially the sending the logs to the officer at the time. It's all great when you're in a relaxed environment, but 8 months later and you've never done it, and you get pulled into a scale and they say, send me your logs. You get nervous, you black out, you freak out, and you can't do it. First of all, call us. We'll walk you through it right then and there. It's better than a day later I get a notification that you weren't able to send your logs. Call me when you're there. We can fix it. They're not that mean. They're going to give you time. They're going to go inspect your equipment, and they're going to say, work on it. I'm going to go check your truck and trailer out. By the time I get back, you need to be able to send it. And in that time, you can make a phone call. So let's be smart. Check those things out. And like I said, Christenson doesn't have a 72-hour policy on being ready. We are ready every day. We're kind of like the military. You got to be ready. Kind of like fire department. When the bell rings, you got to be able to jump in there and go. That's not the time to start learning and training and learning the playbook. Do this on a daily basis, multiple times a day if you're swapping different equipment out. So do not be the one to mess up. I can convict myself. Like 2 years ago, the only ticket we got, a driver called me on our yard and said, Barry, I've got this trailer and I don't see the registration. And I said, it's in your permit book app. That's what it's called, permit book app. It was at that time. That was the only vehicle pulled in, and that document had not been scanned into the permit book for them to download. And I felt terrible because not only did Christenson get written up for that, but the driver got written up, and they had called me personally. So nobody's perfect. But we're sure not perfect if we don't try, and we don't practice, and we don't plan, and we don't anticipate. So let's get a good score. Make me proud. Make yourselves proud. Everybody wants to be able to hold their head up and go to the guy at the fuel line and say, hey, did your company get written up? Oh, yeah. Did you guys? No. Christenson got an A+ again. So let's get A+. Thanks for watching. The point of the story, again, was be ready. Always. Be safe.